The Enchanted Clock Tower. The shadow of midnight. Months passed since Lila restarted the clock of Raven's Hollow. The town flourished with newfound hope and ambition. But with change came whispers. Some said the clock tower's glow had begun to dim, and others claimed to hear strange whispers at midnight. Lila dismissed these rumors, believing her adventure was over. That was until one stormy night, when the clock struck midnight and a powerful tremor shook Raven's Hollow. A deep, echoing voice reverberated through the town. The clock of eternity was never meant to move. You have awakened what should have stayed asleep. Panicked townsfolk gathered outside the clock tower, staring as an ominous shadow spilled from its windows, stretching across the streets. At the heart of the shadow stood a figure cloaked in darkness, the Keeper of Midnight. The Capper spoke, its voice cold and hollow. By restarting the clock, you've disturbed the balance. To save your world, the clock must stop again, but only the one who awakened it can face the trial. Lila stepped forward, her heart pounding. What trial? The Keeper's eyes glinted like shards of obsidian. To halt the clock, you must venture into the realm of midnight, where time stands still and shadows rule. But beware, time here does not flow for you. Fail, and you'll be trapped forever. Before Lila could respond, the shadow engulfed her. She found herself in a dark, silent realm. The sky was an endless void, and the only light came from faint, glowing footprints that led to a massive, twisted version of the clock tower. The clock at its peak ticked backward. Inside, the air was thick and cold. The Keeper's voice echoed, "To stop the clock, you must find 3 relics: the pendulum of courage, the cog of wisdom, and the spring of faith. But beware, shadows are watching." Lila pressed forward. The first trial, the pendulum of courage. She entered a cavernous room where a massive pendulum swung over a bottomless pit. A shadowy figure emerged, mimicking her voice, taunting her. "You can't do this. You're not strong enough." The words weighed heavy on her heart, but Lila clenched her fists. "I've faced my fears before, and I'll do it again." She leaped onto the pendulum, timing her movements with its swing. After a harrowing journey, she reached the other side, where the pendulum of courage floated in a beam of light. The second trial, the cog of wisdom. In the next chamber, she faced a giant puzzle. The floor was covered with mismatched cogs, and she had to assemble them into a working mechanism. The shadows whispered, "There's no time." "You'll never solve it." Lila ignored them, focusing on the task. She remembered her grandfather teaching her how gears worked and pieced the puzzle together. When the final cog clicked into place, the mechanism spun, revealing the cog of wisdom. The final trial, the spring of faith. The last chamber was the most daunting. It was a vast, empty space with a single platform floating in the void. A narrow, invisible bridge connected her to the spring of faith, but she could only see it by believing it was there. Her heart pounded as she stepped forward, trusting her instincts. With each step, the bridge materialized beneath her feet. When she reached the spring, she dipped her hand into its waters and retrieved the final relic. The final confrontation. As Lila returned to the heart of the Midnight Realm, the Keeper awaited her. "You have the relics, but do you have the strength to face me?" The Keeper's form grew, transforming into a towering shadow monster. Lila clutched the relics, feeling their power pulse through her. She realized the truth. The Keeper wasn't a monster. It was a manifestation of the fears and doubts that had haunted Raven's Hollow for centuries. "I'm not afraid of you," Lila declared. "You have no power unless we give it to you." The relics glowed brightly, banishing the Keeper in a burst of light. The clock tower trembled as the clock's hand stopped, and Lila found herself back in Raven's Hollow, the shadow gone, the tower silent once more. The townsfolk cheered, but Lila knew this was more than a victory. It was a reminder that courage, wisdom, and faith could overcome even the darkest shadows. Moral of the story: even the most daunting challenges can be conquered with belief in yourself and trust in your strength.